Hey there everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back here with me at Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. And as I always say in starting, I introduce myself and let you know that I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So if you have any Stampin' Up! Needs, if you would like a catalog, if you would just like to visit my blog, all that information will be in the description. You can actually browse that catalog online, so you can go there and look and see if you like anything. You can also purchase any of the products that you see me use in the video. But before we start our video, I want to let everyone know that I will probably be missing in action for a few days. At least I think I will. On Wednesday I'm going in for surgery, and since it's going to be oral surgery and it's all in my mouth, I'm not sure if I'm going to be up to talking. The procedure that I'm having done is dental implants, and they will have to split my gums completely open. They have to get in so they can get to the bone. There's a lot of grinding and filing and things that has to be done to prep you for this procedure. And then of course they have to put the implants in with bone graft and a lot of gory stuff that I will not bore you with this morning. But I did want to let you know that that is coming up for me this Wednesday, September 30th, and I appreciate your prayers for a successful procedure and for a quick and speedy healing. So it's going to be a process, because before I get my final bridges, it could be up to 4 to 8 months. So I will come out with a temporary bridge, but I still have to be very careful. I'll be on a liquid diet for a little bit, then very soft foods, so that we don't upset the implant. It has to have time to fuse to the bone. So anyway, I wanted to let y'all know that. So if you do not see videos up for me a lot this week, I wanted you to know why. So again, like I said, please pray for me. I'm a bit apprehensive. I feel very blessed. As you know, this was definitely an answer to prayer, and I'm hoping once I have this procedure done and I heal, I'll feel much more comfortable coming on camera so you can actually see my face, and I think that'd be nice. So until then, I'm going to craft like this, and if I can talk, I know I'll have a lot of swelling, probably some bruising, but as soon as I get where I can come on and talk to you, I will definitely be here. If I can't do that, you can check my blog post out, and I'll put updates there to let y'all know when I plan on doing videos and when the next one's coming up. Okay, what I have here is, of course, I have my trimmer. I love this trimmer, so if you're in need for a trimmer, please check out the website and check out this Stampin' trimmer. It is absolutely wonderful. I think they just call it paper trimmer, so you can look that up on my site if you want to. I pulled this designer paper out. Look how pretty this is. I love these clusters of roses. I think it's just superb. I think it's very beautiful paper, and I'm going to cut off a section of this, probably right along here. I saw another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator use this paper with this particular fold, and yes, I am kind of copying, but probably not exactly. Her name is Rachel Tessman, and I watched her do a card using this, and I thought it was so pretty that I decided I wanted to try that. So, and some of you may not know her, so you may not have seen that. We're going to take this piece and put it in, and we're going to cut it at 5 1/4. So your piece needs to be 5 1/4 by 12. So there's my 5 1/4 right there. I'm butting it up to make sure it's all the way up against that lip, and right on that 5 1/4. move my score blade up to the top, and I always slice up on my paper because that way I'm pushing it against that lip, not pulling it away from it. And that just gives me a better, it just works better for me that way. Alright, so now I'm going to turn it like this. And this paper pack is called Christmas Time is Here. But it doesn't look Christmassy because it's got sort of a winter look, but I wouldn't say necessarily Christmas. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to score it at 2. At 5. And then I'm going to pull my arm out so we can take it down to 8. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fold our paper. Let's move my turner out of the way. And we are going to fold this one up. And what you want to do is make sure that you're staying even. And I didn't score this really tight, but it's okay. Let me grab my bone folder. And I'm just going to make sure that these edges are nice and even. And then we're going to fold it this way. And then we're going to fold it this way. Now I'm fiddling with it just a little bit because I was having trouble finding my fold, but when I folded it back the other way, the fold came right into it. So sometimes you might have to do that. Just turn your paper over and bend it one way. Then you can bend it back like you want it. And this is how this card's going to look. Now we're going to get some paper to put here, and we're going to do some decorating inside, and then we're going to do a larger piece that we're actually going to put the card on. So let me grab my, I think I want to play it up with this instead of the Mossy Meadow. And this is the Mary Mallow. I love that. I think it just brings out all of that beautiful red. And if anyone knows me, you know that I love red. And then tell you what, instead of using the 12 by 12, I do have Mary Mallow in an 8.5 by 11. And this will serve me better than cutting my big piece, because I like to, if I can get my pieces out of the 8.5 by 11, I do. And then I save this for projects that I would need the larger piece for. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not. We'll leave that out just in case. Okay, so I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm going to take the blade. This is the way I open my paper. That way I can keep it in the plastic. Just get a little place started, and then I just run my fingernail across it. And if the old fingernail don't work, then the scissors will. There we go. And then I'll just pull out a piece of this beautiful Mary Mallow. It is such a beautiful shade. I think it just pairs so well with this Sun Series paper that I'm using. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this at 5.5, and then we'll cut it at 4.5. So basically we're going to cut it in half and in half. So I'm going to show you how you can get enough of pieces out of here for 2 cards, which is always good. I don't think we're going to need that. So like I said, I'm just going to cut it in half at 5.5 on the 11-inch side. And then we're going to cut this in half. So this would be 4 1/4 because it's 8.5. So 4 1/4. And then this panel we're going to cut in half, so we know it's 4 1/4, so it's going to be 2 1/8. So 2 1/8. And you have those 2 panels, and we're going to cut this one in 2 at 4 1/4. And we're going to cut this one in half. This one is 5.5. I think it's 5.5. Yeah, 5.5. So 2 3/4 should be half of this. Just like that. And then this piece can be cut again into 2 panels, 2 1/8. I think I should have kept that one whole. It's okay. Yeah, that one should have stayed whole. But nevertheless, now we need one panel, and then we will use this for something a little different. And we're going to need some plain Whisper White. So I am going to grab a piece of white, and we're just going to need some pieces for it that will pair with that. So let's see, I've got my measurements written down. We're going to need 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. And I will have all these measurements on my blog, so you'll be able to hop over there and copy and paste or print those out like you see fit. So 2 1/2. Three 3/4. I'll get all my pieces cut, and then we will, alright, and then we need a 1 7/8 by 2 1/2. So let's do the 2 1/2 this way. And then this piece needs to be 1 7/8. So 1 7/8 is just 2 little lines before you get to the 2. 1 7/8. Okay, so those pieces. And we need a 2.5 by 5.5. So let's do 2.5 by 5.5. Alright, I think we've got everything cut. And the next thing I want to do is we're going to use some border dies. I love those candy cane. These are called the Sweetest Border Dies. And you've got this one that has a lot of the leaves. That one would be pretty too. Maybe we'll try that one. Okay, so we're going to use this piece of white, that longer piece, to die cut this. So we're just going to lay this on like so, and I'm going to run this through the die machine and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, and as you can see, this cut out beautifully, and I think this is just gorgeous. Now, I noticed that the girl that I watched do this, she kept some of her little sprigs. She cut hers away from the frame, but I think I'm going to leave mine on the frame. And we'll see how that's going to pan out for me. But I am going to grab a couple of these little spriggies, because I think these will add a little something something to our card. And I have an idea even for these little dots. So I'm gonna get my take your pick tool. Let's see if I can wrangle some of these. I guess I need to put the other end on and I can pick them up. Such a versatile tool to have in your craft room. I love it. So now let's see. Yeah, see how much easier that was. So I'm just going to lay these over here. If you invest in this magnetic cutting mat, after you use it, you're probably going to want to just do this. This will help keep it flat where it doesn't look like it's contoured in, because after stamping on it and all the pressure going to the middle, you will sometimes get it where it looks a little bowed or divot. So just, you know, just ever so often do this. Bend it. Just work it out. That'll help keep your magnetic mat fresh. Alright, now this piece, I think she had this piece on here like so. Maybe that's why she cut this off, because it's hanging over. But I really like that. Maybe we can cut just a small piece off of here. And I'm just going to use regular scissors. Like that. Maybe I am going to go ahead and snip it all off. Maybe that's why she did that, because it just makes it look a little bit better if you don't have all of this kind of hanging out there. And if it don't work, I can always cut another one. Okay, so let me clean up a little bit of my mess. That's better. So now we have our card. We have this piece that we are going to, this is going to sit up a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom. And the reason for that is because this card is going to glue down onto the back of this. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and put our card down so we can get our bearings of exactly where everything's going to lie. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus. This stuff is super, super sticky. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my bearings, make sure I got this nice and straight, and then I'm looking for that 1/8 of an inch border. That looks pretty good. So then I'm going to commit. And then we have our card. And we can adhere this to here. At any spot that you want, you can do it over this way. You can do it where it comes all the way over to the edge. Let's go ahead and get our piece glued down. Still think I want to recut this. Bring out my little silicone craft pad or mat. And I'm going to use some liquid glue. Just squirt out a little bit on the corner. And somewhere I have, right here, I have this dedicated sponge for sticking. So I'm going to lay this down wrong side up. And I'm just going to dab in this glue, and then I'm going to dab onto this piece. And by using my silicone craft mat, I don't have to worry about getting sticky all over everything. It'll come right off of this mat. So let's take this over now to our piece. And you can stick that directly down, just like so. Isn't that pretty? I think I am going to put it like this because we've got a sentiment that we're going to put on the front. And it's going to be this one. So we're going to actually stamp a little greeting on here. So let's come back, and I think where we want this is right here, but I'm going to snip just a little bit these ones that are hanging over, just like that. And this piece is actually going here. It is going to go down right here. So let's try it again, and we're going to put the adhesive on the right place this time. And that's going to be on this corner, this edge. And you know, I probably could use my silicone mat, but it's kind of gunked up right now with all of the glue that I used. So let's just go for the tape runner and hope we get it on the edge. A little bit off, but that's okay. And now I'm going to fold this back like we want it. And now I can gauge where I want this to go. And I think right about there. And I'm pressing it down. And you might want to come back in on this side and put a little liquid glue, just to make sure this whole thing goes down. And then when you open it, this is what you've got. Pretty. Right, I'm gonna use my bone folder and just press this down really good. And if this is sticky, you can use your powder tool that you use with your embossing to kind of de-stick it. If your adhesive is hanging over like mine is, you can do that. Alright, and I got adhesive on the bottom, I got adhesive everywhere. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is we want to layer this on here. And we're going to put a greeting. I love this May the Magic and Wonder bloom this holiday. That would be pretty on this because it is a bloom. So let's grab that out. That's in the Poinsettia Petals stamp set. I think I'm going to stamp this before I put that down because I may want to use just a little something. So I think I'm going to do this in the Mary Mallow, but I'm going to bring in this leaf or this little holly sprig, maybe right here and here. I think that'd be cute. So let me get this lined up. I like to line my stamps up and make sure they're nice and straight on my block. And I use my grid paper to do that. Debating, do I want the Mary Mallow or do I want the real red or cherry cobbler even? I'm gonna go with the Mary Mallow. It matches the border paper and I think that'll look really neat. going to stamp that off right there. Beautiful. All right, let me wipe my stamp off and then we'll go to our next stamp. This one, I think I'm going to use that Mossy Meadow. I think that'll look really good. Like that. And we'll ink it up another way and we'll go in maybe like this. Yeah, that's beautiful. Alright, so now we're ready to go ahead and put this piece down. And you could come back in if you wanted to and use your markers and color in those little berries, but I think I'm just going to leave them like that. Just that little pop of green on here, I think would be really cute. So I'm going to turn that over and use just a little bit of my press and seal, stamp and seal. Isn't that gorgeous? So it makes such a pop, and I'm going to pop that up on some pop dots. I think this card is so pretty, and I've been working with my poinsettias and or poinsettia, however you prefer to say it. I promised y'all last week that I was going to start putting up some Christmas cards, because I know, y'all, if everybody's like me, if you wait till the last minute, you will not get Christmas cards out to people. So this is a great way to start your Christmas cards now And when the Christmas season rolls around, now I didn't measure anything, I just kind of eyeball centered. And now you have, oops, it's sticking there. I'm going to have to get that little powder tool and see if I can just powder it a little bit like that. And that'll keep it from sticking. Yep, that'll work. So now we need another something right here. And that's why we have this piece, but we need another piece of the, and I didn't use my little spriggles that I planned on using. I was going to put these like right in here, and maybe right under here. We might still be able to glue those in. We'll see. We'll see if we like it with them or without them. Let's go ahead and get our stamping done. So this is going to fit on here, like so. And then that's going to fit in here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I get this piece where I want it. And I think if you just center this in here, you'll be fine. So it looks like about there. But if you don't trust yourself to get it in the right place, get it where you want it and then draw yourself a little corner line like that. That way you know you can come back up and just cover that up and you'll have it just where you want it. So for this I'm going to use a little liquid glue. And I'm going to go right up to that little marking that I made and just make sure that I cover it up. Just like that. Now we're ready to do our stamping. Okay, I got this glued in, and I thought my camera was on and it wasn't, but I stamped from the Itty Bitty Christmas. I stamped the Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year on that piece of white, and then I just glued it down onto that Merry Mallow. So now what we need to do is look at the front, and I think I do want to use these little pieces that came off of the little border punch, and what I want to do is maybe put them on the corner here and maybe a couple over here. To do that I'm just going to use some liquid glue. Just right on the edges that I'm going to actually tuck under. Just like that. Then I'm going to take these little pieces and put some glue right here. Of course I dropped glue on it, and we'll hope that it dry clear. Alright, and I think we have this little card done. I'm real pleased with the way this turned out. So this is the first of our Christmas cards this season. And you can also put panels in here if you like with messages. Or if you were given a gift card, this would be a good place to put a little pocket for a gift card. I love that paper. I think it's so pretty. And this card turned out gorgeous. So, I hope you enjoyed making this card, and I hope that you will try something like this. So be sure to check my blog out, and remember what I said. I will have any updates concerning my surgery and my videos and when I'll be back and the whole thing. Hopefully I won't miss a beat, and I'll be back here this week. So please continue to pray for me. As I always say in closing, let everything you say and do bring glory to our Father in heaven, because He is so worthy, He is so good, and He's faithful. So until we craft again, God bless. Bye-bye.